The Prime Minister says thousands of jobs available in just days.
A stroke of the pen makes it easier for millions to come to the Bahamas.
And judging Junkanoo becomes more transparent. We'll explain. The Bahamas Tonight, the National Report, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Keishla Adderley.
And I'm Andrew Knowles. Thanks for joining us.
Topping the news tonight, the much talked about employment opportunities for Bahamians said to be on tap and ready come 2014.
Today, Prime Minister the Right Honourable Perry Christie addressed how these jobs will come about and what Bahamians can do to qualify. Clint Watson has the story.
The good news is 2014 is going to be significantly better than 2013. Of that you can be assured in every which way.
And with this assurance in mind, Prime Minister Perry Christie and his cabinet are moving swiftly to ensure the necessary support systems are in place to sustain what he predicts will be a major turnaround in the economy. In addition to the scores of foreign investment projects already set to begin throughout the archipelago, the government will jumpstart the boost with millions of dollars in capital works.
Government is in desperate need of office space, so we're talking about building new offices or major renovations of new offices into many millions of dollars, causing construction jobs. We're talking about the roadways like in Andros and other islands that requires fixing in Bimini. And we're talking about ensuring that those are fixed and people hired as a result of that. And so we're talking about building a new campus in North Andros for September.
In addition, thousands of jobs will be created by investments on Exuma, Grand Bahama, San Salvador, Bimini, and in New Providence through Albany and Bahamar.
The Prime Minister also subscribes to the view that there is a correlation between crime and joblessness.
In launching and relaunching the Urban Renewal program, we're trying to get into the communities in a direct way, and we're hoping that the home repairs, the social assistance that we render will be based on the urban renewal officers being in a position to inform themselves of what is happening in the community.
The government is ensuring that only in dire circumstances, labor certificates will be granted to facilitate the employment of foreign workers. Labor Minister Shane Gibson says when there is a need for expatriate expertise, a process will be put in place to ensure there is a transfer of knowledge to Bahamians.
The newly established inspectorate unit in the Department of Labor has been mandated to ensure that whenever a work permit is granted and the requisite training program is established, the program will be monitored so that a qualified Bahamian is identified and prepared to fill the position.
And so while many people anticipate 2014 to be an exciting year for them, the government says they'll be busy trying to ensure that they make that dream a reality. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
It's a move to take the Department of Labor to the people and alleviate long lines at the main office. Today, the government opened the first of a number of sub-offices set for New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Bimini by 2014 December. The Labor Department sub-office located on Robinson Road in the Angliston community will provide a cadre of services including employment, preparation and recruitment, training, job referrals, counseling, resume writing, unemployed registry, and NIB benefits as well. You will also be able to file and register trade disputes. Labor and NIB Minister Shane Gibson says together with the Inter-American Development Bank, they're creating a one-stop shop, something area MP Glenys Hannah Martin is passionate about seeing implemented.
This collaboration is designed to facilitate the socio-economic profiling of our labor force, which will inform the government of the level of need and the kind of assistance that is required in our various communities, especially having regard to the limited resources available to the government.
That in 2014, we are going to do more than help people find jobs. We can help people realize their dreams, because our children have dreams, and we don't want them buried and we don't want them dried up in the sun.
The government signed an agreement today that will pave the way for Chinese nationals to visit the Bahamas without requiring a visa. Officials say it's a move that shows the great bilateral relations between both countries. But more importantly, it represents a critical step in diversifying the country's global tourism base.
Just gives us access to this ever-growing market that has proven to be pivotal in terms of tourism success in multiple countries around the world. And so we welcome this opportunity.
And officials of the multi-billion-dollar Bahama Resort Development believe Thursday's signing of the mutual visa agreement between the Bahamas and China bodes well for stimulating Chinese tourism. The agreement allows mutual 30-day access to Chinese and Bahamian passport holders without requiring a visa. Bahamas Senior Vice President of Administration and External Affairs Robert Sand says the signing provides the perfect opportunity for the mega resort to penetrate the Chinese market to populate the local gaming industry.
They will participate in two segments that generate economic activity in the Bahamas. They are great consumers of retail in terms of unique items, and therefore the retail sector, both at Bahama and in the Bahamas, will benefit tremendously from Asian Chinese visitors. Thirdly, they are prolific gamblers, and therefore that segment will also generate significant income.
In fact, the Chinese Vice Foreign Minister says the number of Chinese tourists visiting the Bahamas annually continues to soar. And it's no secret tourism officials have been eyeing that particular market for some time. With the elimination of the burdensome visa process, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell says tourism is now focused on building direct airlift.
The mutual visa exemption agreement we just signed is a new step in our bilateral relationship. It will facilitate the people-to-people exchanges between our two countries. More and more Chinese visitors and investors will come to the beautiful Bahamas.
There was some discussion with the previous ambassador to China, to this country, about actually having direct flights from Beijing to Nassau. And the question is whether or not there's sufficient traffic to bear Nassau alone, or whether Nassau has to be a hub and then on to the rest of the Caribbean. I think the Americans have actually been sort of informally consulted as to whether this presents an issue, and I'm advised that it does not. So all those sorts of things have been put in place to sort of promote the group business from China to here.
They rob us, you know, the famous cry from Junkanoo groups and their supporters after almost every parade. Well, as Janaea Noel Ferguson tells us tonight, in an effort to end allegations of Junkanoo crime, the JCNP is implementing several new measures.
The new judging system implemented last year for Junkanoo judges revealed that judges may have been off course while judging the parade. Chairman of the JCNP, Silbert Ferguson, hopes that with the upgrade of the scoring system, the process can be streamlined.
We want people to be making judging decisions off the parade route and not seeing the groups.
And for the first time this year, the same judges won't be responsible for every lap.
Judges who judge lap 1, who are normally there to judge lap 3, their jobs will be finished after they have seen everybody on lap 1. A fresh set of judges will come into the parade to judge lap 3.
Scoring will also change this year. Instead of thousands of points, it will all be calculated out of 100.
Any person other than the 9 persons in cloth will be assessed a 1-point penalty. And 1 point in a 100-point parade is huge.
To hold judges accountable for their scores, Ferguson says judges will no longer be identified by number, but by name and photos, which will be published on Monday. Janaea Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
In our first look at weather, a weak area of high pressure is beginning to build across the islands, rendering some moderate breezes, but outside of our studios, we have just a few clouds, temperature 75 degrees, relative humidity 74%. Your winds out of the east at 10 knots, barometric pressure 1,020.7 millibars, 30.14 inches, and it is steady. But stay tuned, temperatures around the Family Islands, travel and boating forecast is still to come.
Well, coming up tonight, find out what makes this young man king and keeps him in check.
And a former police officer goes to court asking for bail. Find out what happened. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Shell Helix Ultra. Performance you can see.